Hello, hello, and it's the return of Babyface Cads, which means, of course, it is November, aka Movember, where we will be growing a mustache for the entire month. For anyone who has no idea what I'm talking about, we did this last year as well, and essentially the Movember movement is just where you shave off all of your facial hair for the month and you grow a mustache in whatever form it may come over the course of the next 30 days. That is the bare bones ways to participate, so let me know in the comment section down below if this is something that you guys have done in the past or something you're interested in doing this year with me. But just like last year, I'd like to add a charitable component to this because Movember does support causes like men's health, which is most certainly on the decline in the current day, but they also support funding for cures and treatments for testicular and prostate cancer, which disproportionately affect men as well. So I'm not going to ask you guys to donate on my behalf or anything. You could do that on your own if you wish to, but essentially what we're going to do, just like last year, is that for every sub that we gain for the month of November, I will be donating $2 on your guys' behalf. As it is November 1st, currently we're setting the benchmark here at my current sub count, which is 1,367. So we'll see how far we can progress by December 1st. And if you'd like more information about what Movember is about, the link to their website will be in the description box down below for you to check it out and investigate for yourselves. But I get it, that's probably not what you're here for. You wanted to see some shard pulls, so let's get into that topic. It is, of course, 2x Ancients. There is a champion chase going on for the fusion for Gretel Hagbane, the Halloween fusion. And let's take a look at what it's going to cost this go around. My prediction for this champion chase tournament was 2,500 because I just figured that the milestones would be a little bit on the nicer side, but the rare is at 3,000, which is not the end of the world by any means. So we're definitely going to go out there at least, but because there is a legendary tome within reach of 3,036.50, that is going to be our target for this pulling session. Now, normally I'd be pulling my shards on Sunday because I typically wait for the 10x's to end because I usually prioritize champions that are like on my primary wish list over champions that are just kind of nice to have or cool. But this new Demon Spawn dude is pretty sick, and honestly, I wouldn't mind getting him on my account. I don't expect to get it. Getting the 10x champion, if you get a legendary at all, is like a 5% chance, so the odds are very, very low, 1 in 20 if I get a legendary that's going to be this guy. So I'm not banking on it, but I wouldn't mind it compared to some of the other champions that are typically featured in 10x's. And before we get to the action of the actual shards, I do have 2 Prism summons to go that I'm forced to do because they gave us one free one for Halloween, and then I had some carryover from the previous iteration of the summon pool that I saved in a tournament and hoarded for this moment. And so honestly, I wouldn't mind a duplicate of Rhodos. That would be sick if we do happen to get a legendary. But if anyone was new, I'd probably want a Duchess. And then for the epics, Whisper, Rector Drath, and Husk would be top of the list. So we have 2 chances. Let's see if we can get ourselves a legendary. And no, it is starting off with an epic, but hey, it's Whisper. We'll take that. That is a +2 Whisper for me. So I am more than happy with that. More importantly, it's also points for the champion chase legendary, and it's a Rhodos. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, it actually, we actually got him. Wow. Someone I actually wanted popped out of these. This is, I think, the second legendary that I've pulled from a Prism shard over the course of the however many months it's been since they've been added to the game, and we'll most certainly take that. I'd always said that if I get a second Rhodos, that I'll probably empower my first Rhodos to +2, and so I'll think about that for a little bit longer, but I'm fairly confident that that's what I'm going to do. I'll just sacrifice the stats in the Faction Gardens because Rhodos is one of my most powerful champions in my account. We can take a quick look, but purchased his souls all the way up through the Soul Merchant to 6-star, so he definitely gets a high priority on my account in terms of his capabilities. So that will probably be a +2 Rhodos, but I'll have to think a little bit more about that. But that is great as well for champion chase points. That's like 850 just from the 2 Prism shards, which will heavily offset the amount of Ancients we need to pull in order to get ourselves 3,650 points. Man, it's going to be tough to beat that, but we'll see if the Ancients have something else within them as well. So here in the portal, let's take a look at the overall shard count on the account. 772 on the Ancients, way too many, but I don't have as many reasons to pull as what they used to offer to us. 251 on the Void shards, 41 on the Primals, and then 60 on the Sacreds. And of course, we'll be dipping into the Ancients today. When it comes to Mercy, we are fresh off of a legendary, so the odds are very, very low. I guess it's just the raw odds of 1 in 100 shot that we might, or 1% chance that we might get a legendary, but we're definitely not going to go into Mercy or anything crazy like that. Most likely we'll get the amount of points that we need within 50 to 70 Ancients, depending on RNG. The more rares, the longer it's going to take. The more epics, the shorter it's going to take. If I do happen to get a legendary from the Ancient Shards, I wouldn't mind someone from my top 3, that being Valkyrie, be a Poison Exploder or Molly Tankard. So without further ado, let's get into the shard pulls. We've got a decent amount of space, we've got a decent amount of cash, and hopefully we can get some pretty decent luck. I've seen a lot of my clanmates getting a bunch of legendaries and like 50 ancients, so let's see if we can make that happen for myself. Here we go, 850 so far in the champion chase. So we're going to be tracking our points along the way, and the end goal is 3,650. So starting it off with 2 epics, my Celiac Priest Ornn, pretty decent. I find him relatively underwhelming, but nonetheless he does have AoE poison and poison sensitivity. Granted, it's on a 75% chance, so it's not a guaranteed. So there's a 25% chance that he might not do anything across all three of the debuffs. And so I'm not a huge fan of him, but nonetheless he can be an AoE poisoner, popular for soloing dungeons and whatnot. Regen set, immortal set, you guys have heard of that. And then Korgon the Crowned, pretty unique champion, shall we say. I don't know, he has like some weird perfect veil synergies, some block debuff stuff going on, but I haven't really seen him see any play in any particular area. Second 10 pop here, another couple of epics. Kellen the Shrike, he is he's one of like the 3 epics in the game that I actually don't have on my account. So now I guess that's down to 2. I think he hits decently hard from what I've heard. He has like 1 single target hit and then a AoE ability. So he might be good for DPS in the Sylvan Watchers Faction Wars crypt, because that faction definitely struggles in terms of DPS. And then Aethar used to be kind of like a MVP poisoner for Demon Lord Clan boss, but now he's kind of fallen off. He's a lot less important for that role. My mental math puts us around 2,000 points so far in the champion chase, so 1,600 points to go. 10 pop number 3. 2 epics per 10 pop is a pretty good rate, so hopefully we can keep that going. I guess I should have mentioned that I also wouldn't mind getting all blues, apparently. I wouldn't mind getting the fusion epic. That would make the fusion a lot easier, so that would be nice along the way of getting epics here, but hopefully we don't get back-to-back all blues. Oh man, you hate to see it, but that does mean that we hit epic mercy here, so we're guaranteed to see an epic. Maybe it's going to be the fusion epic, maybe not. More blues, 2x. Okay, Armina broken the legendary, and it's a duplicate of Killian or Cillian the Lucky, however you say it. I guess that is good for Bannerlord's Faction Guardian, so we'll take it. I think that was 1,300 points, so that should put us around 3,400-ish in the tournament, meaning that 110 pop, as long as we get 1 epic, should be able to round things out. Armina, decent debuffer for like Faction Wars, maybe Curse City. She's kind of an upgrade to War Maiden, but nothing special beyond that. Corpse Collector, nothing amazing in my opinion. Steel Skull, decent support, healing, increased defense. He's been more popular in the Curse City because he has increased defense, so he works with the Faultless Defense Blessing, which can help when it comes to hard mode Fire Knight variations. So here we go, last 10 pop. Killian the Lucky, I guess he does have AoE block active skills, which kind of can be useful. I have used him in the Cursed City on my account, but he is unbooked, and so he's not the best champion, but nonetheless he can be used. I think he also empowers Rhonda, if that is up your alley as well. And last epic, gonna do it here. We should have the legendary tome claimed, and it's Mistrider Dahi from the Sylvan Watchers. AoE decreased defense, super fun champion, lots of extra turns and coolness, and so happy to empower him by I think to +2, give or take. Don't exactly remember, but yeah, we should be there. Slight overshoot perhaps, maybe like 3,800 or so, 3,900, yeah, give or take, in the champion chase here. So we are done. We're gonna save that energy for champion training a little bit later and claim everything else. So honestly, I can't really be that mad. We got 2 legendaries. Of course, one was from the Prism shards and one was from the ancient shards, but nonetheless 2 legendaries on my account, both of them being dupes of course, but nonetheless that is not the worst thing in the world. So that brings me up to 8 out of 10 when it comes to the Bannerlords, which means this is now the closest faction to getting 10 out of 10. I still to this day do not have a single faction that is 10 out of 10 on the Faction Guardians. And yeah, the decision I'm going to have to make, and I'm fairly convinced that I'm going to do it, but we might just be sacrificing 10% attack across the faction in order to supercharge my single Rhodos into +2, which gives him a lot of extra stats, crit damage, some speed, extra stats are like attack and HP and stuff, so it makes him much more survivable and much more powerful in terms of output damage. And then if we double check in the index, I believe that the new rare should be a red dot. Yep, we got the fusion rare, so we'll start champion training him immediately. And then I believe I mentioned him earlier, but the Sylvan Watchers, the new epic on my account is Kellen the Shrike. So brand new epic, and I think, like I said before, we have 2 more unique epics to go that are still grayed out. So I do not yet have every epic in the game, void and non-void combined. So there you have it. The lucky was on our side in getting a duplicate Killian the Lucky, and more importantly, getting a duplicate of Rotos, who has been on my list, like the adjacent list, for a long time. And so we'll see about empowering him to +2 for the first legendary empowerment on my account. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys got from your shard pulls if you participated in this one. 2x Ancients is always a fun one because it is the most accessible across the player base, so it's always nice to see how lucky people can get. As always, if you did enjoy watching this video, then be sure to hit that like button down below. It really helps out the channel, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already if you are enjoying the content. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.